Alright, so here we are. This is the third tutorial from where we left off, where I made how to delete faces and then to reverse the inner faces. Anyway, here we are. And now the whole point of this is to turn this into a infinity wall, okay? For really nice renders and stuff. Alright, then now we're gonna mess around with something. It's called to insert a edge loop and why we need that. And this will also go over how 3D models behave. Now, with infinity wall, I'm gonna write down here infinity wall. Alright, 1 second. So here, infinity wall. See, this is what we're making, and we want this nice little curve. See, nice little curve, and there's a reason why. It adds to just to overall ambience and just in general good, visually it just looks nice rather than a sharp edge, like a wall. So we're gonna do that. And the reason why you want infinity wall is because like in lighting and rendering, photography and whatnot, in 3D world, the light will bounce, have secondary illumination and whatnot, and just good stuff. Like, you'd be crazy not to have it. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is I have it selected, and I taught in the class, I forgot which one, but if you press 3, it'll turn into this. 3 is your smooth proxy. Basically what it looks like, because there's two ways that you can view a 3D model. If I press 1, this is your low poly version, what's gonna look like. And you press 3, this is what's gonna look like when it is smooth. Okay, so those are two main terminologies. And this is again having to do with polygons. NURBS has something very similar too. Right, so 1, 2, 3. You don't have to use 2, it's only going to confuse you. I'll just stick to 1 and 3. And alright, so regarding adding an edge loop, I personally like this little curve. I like it, but let's see if you wanted a tighter edge, right? I'm gonna press 1 for now. You want a tighter edge. The way you do that is to move these construction lines. I call it construction line, but other people call it these resolution lines or edges. You see these edges? I'll show you something right now. I'm gonna select this, and we're gonna learn something called to turn your object into edges mode. Previously we learned about the faces. Now we're gonna learn about edges. And I'm gonna right click and hold, and let's go to edge. Okay, now you see it's highlighted only for the edges. So what's the whole point of this? Well, I'm gonna select that one edge. Again, that's W for the move tool, and I'm going to shift select this. Okay, or conversely, you could also you see this edge, double click to select both. Okay, double click to select both. And to be, again, just to quickly review, to be in edges, right click, edge. And before that we learned about faces, right? So right click and hold, select edge. And to double click to select the entire edge. But only thing you have to be careful is, you see these outer edges, right? How they connect like that. If I double click here, it'll select the whole thing, looping around. And this is where you learn another terminology called edge loop, where it loops. If I select here, double click, see, the edge loop ends here. If I double click, it ends there. Blah blah blah, whatever. So if I double click here, right, and let's say if I press 3, right, now watch what happens. I'm gonna pull, you see that? See how it gets tighter and tighter? See? I'll do that again. I'm gonna pull, but I do not recommend where you're gonna be right up on this guy. You see that edge? Don't do that. It'll go out of whack. And if I grab here, double click, and I pull, see, you have a nice tight edge. And let's say I want to see how it looks like naturally. Remember, right click and hold, object mode. Then you can click outside. And let's say I don't want to see the wireframe unshaded. Press Alt 5. Boom. Here is our very first infinity wall. Okay. All right. And you know what? I'll go a little bit more. You see how I have the grid here, right? For now, I don't want it here because it's annoying. If you see in here, okay, this, you'll be using this a lot too, where I want to hide my grid. You see here, this is your grid. There's gonna be times where I don't want it. I don't want my grid right now, and right now I kind of want to see my outline, my wireframe unshaded again. So Alt 5. Here we are, nice and clean. Now you'll notice I want to teach you something about called the spacing of your construction lines. You see how it's spaced here? I have one here, but there's a huge distance here. See this face and this face? In the world of 3D, that's not the greatest thing to do sometimes. There's reasons why. But I want to show you how you can manipulate it. If you're in a jam, doing this is okay. But I'm going to show you the proper way. So this is in regards to the spacing of your construction lines, okay? So it's just, I'm going to undo for now. Right, here we are, back to normal, okay? All you should see here is poly normal, whatever, but yeah. Okay, so from here, we're back to square one, right? And I'm gonna press 1, okay? Now, I wanna show you how to insert a edge loop, like how I talked about before. So from here, we're still in components. Right click, right? Wait, should I right click? Hold on. Okay, so we're in components, we're in edges, right? Remember? I want you to hold down shift. See how it turns into a plus sign. Hold on shift. While you're holding on shift, I want you to also press and hold the right mouse button. Okay? Again, hold on shift. Make sure you are in edges for now. Edges mode, right? Hold on shift. Also hold on right mouse button. A new floating window will pop up. Okay? Hold it. We're gonna go to insert edge loop tool. Okay, insert edge loop tool, third one. And I'm gonna let go. Now you see it turns into this triangle. You see my cursor, right? We're gonna manually insert an edge. I'm gonna put it right around here. Okay, so watch this. This part is important. I want you to click on one of these lines, okay, that are perpendicular. You see this edge? I want you to click on the perpendicular line that cuts through it. You'll see from here, if I click once, you see that? I'm gonna manually, I want to put it right here. Okay. I'll do it again. Press W to get out of it. I'm gonna press Control Z. Alright, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna press and hold Shift, turns to a plus sign, press and hold, also press and hold right mouse button, right? Insert edge loop tool, let go. On the perpendicular line to this edge, this perpendicular, click and hold. That way you can put it wherever you want. Click and hold and drag. I'm gonna put it right there. You see here, poly split ring. Then I'm gonna add one right here. See this edge, perpendicular. I'm gonna click once and drag and hold and drag. I'm gonna dump it right around here. So it's kind of equidistant. Then I'm gonna press W. I'm gonna just click outside for a bit. Press 3. Okay. But we're still in components, remember? I'm gonna right click and hold, go back to object. Now I'm gonna click outside. See? And we still have good geometry spacing, right? And we have we added additional resolution or additional construction lines specifically, whereas before there was more of a wider gap in spacing. Doesn't seem like much, but it is important. I'm going Alt 5 to get out of it. See, nice and tight. All right, so that was 13 minutes, and that's how you make that. All right, so this one we went over manipulating your edges, introduction to edges. We also went over talking about edge loops, and we also went over adding edge loops. All right, so that's the end of this quick tutorial. Please write down the notes. You will use this all the time. Okay, bye-bye.